The workshop is free. Few of you have actually kindly donated some money towards Prinklan, which is much appreciated. So thank you very much. If anyone else wants to donate money towards the studio, there is our PayPal link that is there, which is www.paypal.me/printclancic. The workshop that we're doing today is the pattern making workshops. Any design that you do make, you can then share them on your social media using the hashtag #DrawWithPrinkClan, and that would be great. I'm just gonna leave Orla now to start the class.
So thank you so much for coming. So we'll be just going through some really simple mark making at the start. We'll just do some drawing for 5-10 minutes just to get some things to work with, and then we'll go into making essentially a tile. So it's just like a simple block repeat, which will look something kind of like this. So in the long term, basically we'd have this and it would go onto a screen, and then we could move this left and right and up and down, and it would all match up to make an overall repeating pattern. So what we're going to do, does everyone have some paper and something to draw with to hand?
Yes.
Okay. So just quickly do some. So I just thought, just for the sake of the workshop today, for ease, we could just use circles and triangles and squares, just as a kind of motif idea, to understand the process. So if we want to, I've got some A4 paper that I'm working with. So if you want to, firstly choose the opposite hand to the one that you normally write with. So I'm right-handed, so I'll use my left. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill the whole page just really quickly. You don't even need to look at the paper, just like with some scribbles. So just completely cover the paper in some marks or dashes or lines or zigzags, like whatever you want. Do that just now. So you'll have something very exciting like that. And once we've got that, we're going to...
Something like that?
Perfect. Yeah.
Something like that.
Beautiful. Good scribbles going on. Lovely. So once we've got our page, yes, exactly there. So once we've got this, and we're going to either rip it, or if you've got scissors, that might be easier, cut a circle and a square and a triangle out. So it doesn't matter too much. You could cut quite a few, or you could cut one of each, whatever you like. A rectangle, whatever, just those simple shapes.
All of them?
Just however many you want out of the paper. You could just cut really big shapes or lots of little ones, whatever you fancy. So how many people have screen printed before?
A little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but very much a little bit.
So basically when we're screen printing, we can only print one color at a time. So we're gonna basically use color really simply in this class. So we can just use one color at a time. And then in like a future workshop, Ariane will go on to show you like a better understanding of how these designs could work in the actual process of screen printing. So how's everybody doing? Is that all okay? Beautiful. Yeah. Cool. So we're going to pop those shapes just to the side for now, and we'll come back to them. And on our second one, what we can do is we're going to do a line drawing with whatever hand you like. And we're going to close our eyes and draw some shapes just up on our page to fill it up.
Whatever shape we fancy.
Pardon? Whatever shape we fancy. Yeah, anything at all. So we're just going to not take our hand off the paper and carry on drawing until we reckon the whole page is full of shapes.
Okay.
Okay, so go for that, just for 30 seconds or something.
So one continued line?
One continuous line, yeah.
Okay.
So not taking our hand off the page.
So we use a different color or the same color?
You can use whatever you prefer, yeah. You can use a different one. I've changed to blue. I was using orange, but it doesn't matter, just one color.
I'm good.
Quite scary. I hope it makes sense at the end.
It will. I will. I hope it will. I'll show you. I've got some like repeated patterns I can show you at the end to kind of show what it will become. It's kind of an abstract class because you look at this and it doesn't really make sense as a repeat right now. But it's this thing which becomes repeated and matches. And it's not scary. It's fine. Yeah, there's no right or wrong really with the drawing. So
like definitely no right or wrong.
Yeah, there's definitely no right or wrong. That's beautiful. Yeah. Let's have a look.
So it's like this.
Ooh. Oh, amazing.
Okay, good.
So is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we're gonna, do you all have A4 paper?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose like a back side. I don't know if your papers have got different textures. My front is smooth and the back is textured, but whatever. So just choose one side to be your back. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to, do you have a ruler as well to hand? Yeah, cool. So we're gonna basically make a cross in the middle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure down, maths is not my strong point, measure the halfway point on the long length and draw a line across to find the halfway. So the longest length to find halfway would be 14.835, 14.8-ish. So just use my ruler to find 14.8 along.
Is it another sheet of paper?
Yeah, sorry, and on another new sheet of paper.
Okay. Orla.
Yeah.
Orla. I'm using recycled paper, so
Perfect.
So shall I do it on the clear part or the printed part?
On the printed part. So we're going to see this part. This is just the behind the scenes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
14.85. Roughly. Okay, so basically you just got 2 little dots and I'll draw a line across to match those dots up.
13.
And then we'll do exactly the same, but on the shorter edge. So that'll be 10.5 in. So measure 10.5 on either short end. So basically end up with a nice grid. Cool. All good? Yay.
Like that? Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to turn that over to the back. So we've got our clean facing up. And can do. So now we're going to start thinking about making a motif. So the rule for this is basically whatever we're drawing, it can't touch the edges of the paper. Everything has to stay within, I'd say, I don't know, like a 0.5. As long as it doesn't touch the outer edge, you're fine. So you can draw as big or small as you like. So one option could be like sticking down one of the shapes we cut out earlier. So you could arrange the shapes from earlier on our page and stick it down with some sellotape. It doesn't have to be beautiful and perfect. It's just to kind of explain the thing.
It needs to stay within the square.
Yeah, within the square, so not touching any of the outer edges of the paper.
The outer one.
Yeah. So, and I'll just stick this down and show you.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Can we cut through the line drawing as well? Can we cut through that?
You could cut that off if you wanted and stick it on. You could also do that, or you could just line draw straight onto the paper as well.
So you can go over the cross.
Oh, sorry. So we're going to be doing it on the clean side rather than the...
On the clean side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it kind of goes over the cross. It could just, as long as it doesn't touch the edges.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, for example, I've stuck it down. Yeah, and also not to worry, like I've made up a PDF of the steps that we'll email out to you afterwards, so you don't need to worry about remembering the process yet.
Sorry, I had trouble with the sellotape that wouldn't undo, and now another one won't undo. So I'm frantically like going like this. That's why.
No rush.
I've only got masking tape. Is that okay?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So also like a kind of process of making repeat patterns is also something you can do with a lot more accuracy on the computer digitally, but it's quite nice to do it with your hands just to understand how it actually works.
I'm on a video.
All right. So you could also, if you're done with sticking down anything, you could add in some more drawing on top of that if you wanted to. Just take up some time. Mm. So the nice thing of this is also you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want to. It can literally just be one shape stuck in the center, and that'll also look great. I have a tendency to overcomplicate things, so yeah, I'm trying to do a bit less. So
It's really nice to have the pear background like that.
that's cool. That's
I really like doing that. It's fun.
cool.
Because then you got all these shapes that are actually not just white, but they're quite.
Oh, cool.
It's just a very simple way to get it colored. So
Yeah, exactly. That's really nice.
I'm liking it a lot.
So how are you getting on with that?
So can we use the second drawing that so we can cut it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't be precious about it. So this is the first stage of 3. So we'll have 3 more opportunities to add to this. So don't worry about making it too full or intense as well, because we'll be building into it. How are we getting on? Should we move on in a minute?
It's really nice to have people joining from all over the place.
Oh. Okay, so once we've done with that stage, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the back of our paper with the cross on, and we're going to grab some scissors and cut along that short edge there. So we're going to cut the paper in half, essentially. So we'll have a top and a bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to swap the top one with the bottom. They're like that. I'm taking from the top to the bottom. So it's creating a new center line. And we're going to tape along that line on the back. So with this bit, it's trying to get the edges of the paper when you're retaping it together to match up as best you can, which can be difficult. Cool. That's what mine now looks like. Cool. So you can see now that you've got some like empty space in the middle now that you've taped those two edges together. So back to the center of our page. So this time around, we're going to add some more into the middle, again, not touching the edges. So we're keeping to that rule. Nothing's allowed to touch the edge. And we can add onto our design now. So it could be more like loose drawing, or you could do like a kind of color filled in, like just draw, like color in some shapes, or absolutely anything. What am I going to do? You might want to bring in another color, or just stick to the one you were using before. Absolutely anything. I've just stuck down a bit of my other drawing, so it's still feeling quite random. So obviously, like once you get the hang of the actual steps of the process, you can like control more how you're like plan more what you're wanting to do for your pattern and make your own in your own time. Once we've done that, we're going to turn it over to face the cross on the back again. And this time we're going to cut along the long edge. Okay. And exactly the same as before, we're going to take my right hand side, so your right hand side, and swap that over with your left, so we get a new center point, and tape those two together. So you're left with a bit more blank in the center again. So this is our kind of last chance to add anything we want to it. If you want to leave it blank, totally grand, or maybe you want to fill it in so it's all kind of covered. And again, try not to touch the edges, just keeping it to the kind of center bit.
I want to print it now.
I know. Let's see yours, Ariana. Oh, cool. I also did that. Filled it in the middle. Oh, that's so nice. How you getting on? Cool.
Group screenshot at the end with everyone showing their design. It'd be lovely.
Mm-hmm. That's so nice. Yeah.
I was a bit boring and stuck to black.
Go on the screen now, so
What's that?
ready to go on the screen.
Yeah, true. That's the thing.
Yeah. So when we're preparing for the screen printing, you have to just for each. Yeah.
Well, you'll need to separate each color, and each color will have to then actually be black to be exposed. But we'll look at these next week. So whoever wants to join in next week, we'll have a look at it. And you can bring along the design that you made today or any other drawings that you might have. And, you know, we can then look at it in details on how to prepare it for the screen. There is also the option of, you know, especially for the people that are based in Glasgow, to have their screen impressed with their design. So if you wanted to actually have it prepared, we are working towards having that option at the studio, so you would be able to receive your screen delivered at home with your design on it, and then we'll take you through the steps on how to actually print it. Okay, but it's something that we're still working on it, but it's a developing project basically. So just bear with us.
You'll be able to see if it's worked or not by kind of curling the edges round and seeing if they match. So you can see that when you match them up, that triangle meets in with that one there, and the same with the lengthways.
It does only lengthways, but not the short side. Okay, it does here.
Maybe did you fix that?
It's not an exact science with the manual version, like when we're doing it with the drawings on the paper, because a computer will be much more precise about the measurements and everything. It's like, I know I didn't manage to cut it in a straight line, even though I was following a straight line. It's just not my strong point. You could also try it with a scalpel, which might be a bit more accurate. But basically with this, if you wanted to screen print this, you could scan it in to your laptop as well to get it on your computer as well for the next stage. I'll show you. I'll just quickly run you through the PDF that I made up. Just
That's
to
a good idea, Orla.
show you. Right, your screen. So these are the stages that we've done that I've just quickly made, and I color coordinated the three steps to a different color and just try and make it clearer. And then, so that's the, if you look at number 6, that's our block that we've got at the moment, we've just done. And then it basically, when you put it side by side, it will match up to make a repeat pattern like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't happen on my paper, but it makes sense.
Good. Well, it might just take some practice as well.
What I'm gonna do is I will email all of you that have taken part to the workshop today. I will also I will email this PDF. So if you want to run through the exercise again on your own, you can obviously do that. And you can, you know, obviously today Orla has been using kind of shapes, but you could be using anything. You know, you could have drawings that run across the page. When you cut them in half and you swap them, they will then meet again. So it's you can use anything to really do this. Okay, so obviously when you receive the PDF, you'll be able to obviously try again at home. Okay, in your own time. How does that sound? Yeah,
It's good.
perfect. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Orla?
No, we've got, how long have we got left?
Another 20 minutes, more or less.
20 minutes. Cool. Do you want to run, just quickly make another one?
You could try. We could try to do another one while we're on the call now and see if it works. Yeah.
Yeah. If it didn't match up, maybe let's try again and see if we get it this time.
Okay.
So I'll let you also draw what you want, whatever you want to draw. If you have an idea in your head that you'd like to try, or you can just stick to the shapes.
Is it better to have like a kind of more visible effect to go really bold with colors and repeated patterns, or because I mean, no, so this is mine. It doesn't really look like anything from the picture, and so do I need to go any?
Yeah, that would be a lovely repeat, to be honest with you. So if you lift it up again, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The moment is, I mean, the idea of a repeat is that the moment looks quite small, but a repeat can be repeated as many times as you want, and you know, as wide and as long. So although it looks quite small in that piece of paper, you have to think of, like, imagine it on a dress. So that pattern on an all over dress, that looks great. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be bold.
Yeah.
You know, some of the design that you have, you know, patterns on, you know, on your summer dress might just be like small flowers that repeats, and it's absolutely stunning. So it's not, you know, it's not a requirement to go bold, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I just bold for the PDF to try and make it as clear as possible how it matched. Yeah, as delicate as you like.
So
I'm gonna pop up.
Have you got any projects in mind that you want to screen print for? Like doing up a chair or something?
I study interior design and I'm working on a water tower.
Okay.
And I've been working on trying to create a layout out of the shapes that I decomposed from the original drawing.
Okay.
And then putting them back together almost like a composition as such, learning how to make composition that inspire the floor plan.
So do you think it would be quite a useful thing for you to have the studio to prep the screens for you, and then be able to?
Yes, eventually being able to work within the studio would really help, because I've started I did a little bit of screen printing where I started working with the idea, but because of confinement, I couldn't continue the process of learning.
Okay. But if we were to give you the option of being able to have your screen prepared at the studio and deliver it to your home, so then you can actually, and we'll teach you as well how you can actually print at home. Would that be something that you'd be interested?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
If you think it's doable doing it from home, I would definitely love to.
Well, it's you know, it's not ideal, but I think if you really want to screen print, you know, you can get, as long as your screen is prepared with the design that you want, then you can really achieve a really good quality even though you're at home. And we can teach you, you know, we can teach you the secrets on how that quality can be achieved at home. There are little tricky things that you can do to make it work. You know, the hard part, when you talk about screen printing, probably the hardest part is having to prepare the screen, because you need, you know, you need exposure unit, you need the blasting, you know, you need to be able to blast your screen if you want to change image or anything like that. You need to work with chemicals, but if you actually want to just, you know, if you just want the image on the screen and then you want to print, as long as you keep it quite small, so you can't, you know, at home you can't really go 20 meters long, but you can probably go a bit smaller than that, you know, and experiment with it. And eventually, hopefully, we will be able, you know, to reopen the studio and have you in the studio to print a long length, hopefully, of fabric.
I would love to. Sounds very exciting.
We are missing it very much.
Yeah.
How are you getting on? Do you need anything going over for any steps? You okay? Just shout.
Yeah.
I was inspired by our last class where we did the self-portrait.
Oh,
Wow.
So I've used a couple of images that I did during that class and chopped them down and put them in here, right? And then added some more. So that could be an interesting pattern that comes out.
done a spaghetti.
Nice. So Orla, just to clarify, once we are like that, right? To swap it, we'll just place that underneath. Is that right?
Yeah, so taking the top piece to the bottom.
That's what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
just pop it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, there's ways where you can like number each corner 1, 2, 3, 4 if that makes it easier for you. But I prefer just swapping top, bottom, left, right. I find that easier to do, to remember. It's also a really nice way of working as well because it's so quick. You can generate lots and lots and lots of different ideas, and then have a look at which ones you like or not.
And I think it's quite important when you do cut and then you place more designs in the middle, it's quite important to consider the composition. So don't just place your new drawings in the middle, but think about the other edges as well.
Yeah.
Right? So just don't fill in just the middle part, but maybe just start filling in the other bits. As long as you're away from the edges, from those edges, then you're okay.
Yeah, I'll show you this one I've done. So this is the A4 that I've drawn, and I'll share what it looks like when I've repeated it. So it can look quite, you can kind of play with the idea of line and like kind of stripe almost, from those red lines.
You mean you start building a kind of narrative in the drawing you're producing, like a sort of like everything, the things you add up, like a sort of like continuity.
Exactly. So if you're wanting to think about composition, you can use things like through what Ariane was saying, like how you place it on the A4 paper, to make it look like this. Oh, is that the wrong one? Is that sharing that pattern repeated?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that the red continues down. So yeah, that's something to think about as well.
Yeah, like for example, like here, I was adding green in the middle between the red. And I realized that there was no green at the top and there was no green at the bottom, and obviously that looks weird. So one of the things you can start doing, and you can start adding a little bit of green even in the drawings that you already made, and that helps the composition to work a little bit better. Okay, so it kind of you're not just concentrating on the bit that is empty, but you're thinking about the whole composition. Okay.
Okay.
Especially when you're using more than one color, it's important to think about that.
Okay.
Because it helps you read the design better once the colors kind of scattered in a more precise way. If you lift your design a little bit further up, Laura, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so the way that you added the green there, that's perfect. Yeah, great.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
Did you do your t-shirt, Orla?
I didn't. I love it.
Cool though.
Yeah. It's from a friend. She didn't want it anymore, so I inherited it.
I love that.
Yeah. I don't know where she got it from either. But yeah, this print works really well because they've got the block shape contrasting with like a really fine line. So you can play with line type too. Exhibited. And something else to try also is like you can use different sizes of papers, just as long as you get the measurements right. You can choose to work with a square. Oh, that's so nice, Beth.
I just got the ink out, which is my new favourite thing.
It's so good, isn't it?
Just for this as well, like the types of lines that you can make are just really nice and heavy. It's good.
That's so nice. I've just discovered that when you put ink on top of PVA glue, it goes all cool and bubbly.
Oh, really?
Sometimes. And if you also want to, if you have any lino at home, you could just take this and use this as a design for a lino block. So all you'd need to do is basically draw around your design with tracing paper and a pencil, and then transfer that over to the lino, or even polystyrene if you're open.
Can you use cardboard as well to make stencils and such?
For stencil printing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for stencil print, or even just like you could just use cardboard and cut out shapes and paint them and use them for printing with as well.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of DIY printing methods. That's so nice, Beth.
Oh, thank you.
So we've just got like two minutes left. Yeah, and if you're collaging as well, you could just pre-paint up loads of different colors and textures and shapes and things to work with.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm afraid I'm going to have to go for the dreaded family quiz of the weekend.
So guys, do you want to just put your design up the camera for a second just before Mary leaves?
I'll do my slightly less amateur flower one.
Yeah, wait.
Okay, have you have it all up? Have your design up the camera?
Hey.
Perfect. I've got a lovely screenshot. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Oh, Mary, thank you for coming.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Girls, actually. Thank you so much for coming along today. Okay. Well, in this virtual experience that we had to readapt to. If you want to share anything on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, please do tag us at Princlan, and also the hashtag for the workshops that we're doing is Draw with Princlan. If you're looking for any updates and future workshops, we have our Facebook account and our Instagram. Just to remind you as well, if you want to donate, you don't have to, but we do have a donating option, which is PayPal me /forward Princlan CIC. It's also on the link on the workshop where you booked. The Princlan will be donating a part of the what we actually get from those workshops towards Glasgow-based food banks, just to support obviously people that are struggling in these difficult times. Our mission at our studio is to be a sustainable model for the community, and we want to engage with people through the art and the craft of screen printing. We know that at the moment, obviously, we're not able to do that, giving access to the studio, but we do want to continue supporting our mission by doing these online workshops. So please do continue to participate. The online workshops are free, and we will continue to have them as much as we can free for you to attend. The upcoming workshops, there is one on Sunday, the 17th, which is an analog positive. So we will teach you to prepare just by drawing how to prepare your design to be exposed onto the screen. Okay, so you'll have a little bit more understanding of the actual art of screen printing. Then on the 19th of May, following our success of the previous one, we're having another self-portrait workshop online. So please do participate to that one because it's really good fun. And we always have a good laugh with that. Also, if you have some time, we have a lovely blog that has been recently posted on our website, which is Princlan Goes Online. Susie wrote that, and it's a lovely way to explain what we're trying to do and what are the plans for the future. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope to see you next Sunday again. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Grazie Ariana.
Grazie.
Grazie a voi.
Ciao.
Ciao.
A presto.
Ciao, arrivederci.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.